Here we go. There's the back. Bringing it up. That's not too bad. Okay, let's get that sound going so you can hear me. Alrighty, so what do we need to do? We need to grab this body, and we've got that body. We need to get in there and drill those holes. I've got the drill bit too. I've got black hardware. It's got Mr. Glynn's Cruel Mistress vintage telly pickups, brass saddles, bone nut. It's all good. Where the weed at? What's going on? Thank you for the follow. Good to see you. Welcome on in. Who? Okay, so that's that guy there. But that's to show you that copper-looking red cedar when it really gets polished up. It really looks copperish.
Come here, little guy. Give me my little boy. Hello. Hello. How you doing? How you doing? Hey? Good boy.
To go on top. So that's what we did there. That back's going to be sensational. That is so smooth. Very smooth. Ha! Absolutely. They are drums. They're percussion instruments as well as stringed instruments. They can be used. If you watch the old flamenco guys playing, the old Spanish guys, they're doing all that stuff. They're going tippa-tappa, tippa-tippa-dum, ring, 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 tippa-tappa, tippa-tappa, dum, ding, dong, dang. So it's all good. Right, here we go. There's the back. Bringing it up. That's not too bad. Okay, let's get that sound going so you can hear me. Alrighty, so what do we need to do? We need to grab this body, and we've got that body. We need to get in there and drill those holes. I've got the drill bit too. I've got black hardware. It's got Mr. Glynn's Cruel Mistress vintage telly pickups, brass saddles, bone nut. It's all good. Where the weed at? What's going on? Thank you for the follow. Good to see you. Welcome on in. Who? Okay, so that's that guy there. But that's to show you that copper-looking red cedar when it really gets polished up. It really looks copperish.
Come here, little guy. Give me my little boy. Hello. How you doing? How you doing?
To go on top. So that's what we did there. That back's going to be sensational. That is so smooth. Very smooth. Ha! Absolutely. They are drums. They're percussion instruments as well as stringed instruments. If you watch the old flamenco guys, they're doing all that stuff. They're going tippa-tappa, tippa-tippa-dum, ring, 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 tippa-tappa, tippa-tappa, dum, ding, dong, dang. So it's all good. Right, here we go. There's the back. Bringing it up. That's not too bad. Okay, let's get that sound going so you can hear me. Alrighty, so what do we need to do? We need to grab this body, and we've got that body. We need to get in there and drill those holes. I've got the drill bit too. I've got black hardware. It's got Mr. Glynn's Cruel Mistress vintage telly pickups, brass saddles, bone nut. It's all good. Where the weed at? What's going on? Thank you for the follow. Good to see you. Welcome on in. Who? Okay, so that's that guy there. But that's to show you that copper-looking red cedar when it really gets polished up. It really looks copperish.
Come here, little guy. Give me my little boy. very good. Very good. Hello, hello, hello. How you doing? How you doing? How you doing? Hey? Good boy, good boy.
To go on top. So that's what we did there. That back's going to be sensational. That is so smooth. Very, very smooth. Ha! Absolutely. They are drums. They're percussion instruments as well as stringed instruments. They can be used. If you watch the old flamenco guys playing, the old Spanish guys, they're doing all that stuff. They're going tippa tappa dum ring 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 tippa tappa dum ding dong dang. So it's all good. Right, here we go. Hello folks, how we doing? Welcome to the stream. It's Manny here on a Monday and daylight savings has kicked in. So I'm a little bit earlier, maybe an hour earlier in your parts of the world, but we've moved forward an hour into our summertime. What's going on? We've got a raid from Orby. Orby, what's going on? Thank you very much, Greg. Big shout out to Greg Terry. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, everyone, for being here, I guess. How are we all doing? Everyone's in the house. Good. We've got some finishing to continue today. We've got colour and we've got oiling and we've got some sanding and we've got 3 pieces we're working on, or 2 pieces actually. Waiting on pickups for the third, but they should be here any day now. So what we've got is we've got this Telecaster that we started staining to get that figure out. So that's 2 coats there. Terry, we've rubbed back 1 coat. We've got the second coat on there. And we need another coat at least to see what that's going to look like. So we're going to start off by doing that. That is a quilted black butt, Australian black butt top. You can see it's a ocean theme. We've got a seahorse in there as the F-hole. We've got a starfish up here. The neck for that guy is this guy here. So it is, what's on the back of that? Sassafras. And it's got 2 coats of oil on there. We've got another coat of oil to go. And that is spotted gum, quilted spotted gum. We've got a little turtle guy there, lots of abalone shell, little turtle I should say. Tortoise is a land animal, turtle. So we're all good. We're all looking good. Let me put my glasses on so I can see this monitor here. Tipsy's in the house. How you doing, Tips? Good to see you here. Terry's here. Hello, Terry. Thank you. Matty Burrows, how you doing, Matthew? What is going on? Good to see you too. Give them all. Blonde Nemi Murders is here. Greg, thank you very much for the big raid. Appreciate it. We're going to get back to the bench now. We're going to get another coat on this guy. 1 coat a day or so. Let me see if I can get to the bench. But there's the bench. There we are. We're getting this sapphire blue. You can see the quilt starting to pop. Once we get the clear coat on there, it's going to really pop. The back is staying. So that's a black butt cap, and the back is a poplar body. It's chambered on both sides, as you can see. It's chambered in there. It's for a little 10-year-old girl. She loves the ocean. She loves blue. So that's going to be the finish on that guy there once we get that going. Blue water. Look at that. Terry's got the command for it. This is our neck. You can see there's 2 coats of true oil on that guy. We're going to put another coat on there to get a nice satin semi-gloss finish, slick as anything. It's a slick neck, really fast neck, and we've got some beautiful little mosaic of abalone shell for that tortoise or turtle on the 12th fret. We've got abalone as well on the markers as well. That's already leveled and crowned and finished. We just got to get the 1 more coat, I think, on this guy, and then we finish the body and put it all together. Pickups are here for that. We're waiting on pickups for the other beast, which I'll show you in a minute. Let's go through. Firstly, let's show you the base. So let's grab this base and show you what we need to do. After we put colour on that guy and let it sit aside to dry and settle, we've got to sand finish the big bacon base. There it is there. That's chambered. That has a camphor laurel cap. It is Australian, what is that? Silky oak, or lacewood as they call it. It's a 5-piece neck. American maple, Paduke, American maple, Paduke, American maple. It's a neck through, and it's getting a pair of, or a set of jazz and, sorry, precision pickups and jazz pickups we're waiting on. That's ready to be final sanded, finished sanded, get it ready for some oils. We might do that a little bit later on. Greggles, what's going on, brother? Thank you, In Raiders. Thank you very much for the raid, Greg. Appreciate it. Appreciate you. If everybody doesn't know who Greg is, Orbiter Guitars, great guy out of Cali in the San Francisco area, I believe, and you should check him out. You're doing thanks. You're doing well. That's great. Good to see that you're doing well. So this neck is going with that guitar. Let's get to the bench. We'll put some color on there, and we'll sit that aside and get cracking with the other stuff. Now, we're going to mix some color. We're using this dye. It's called Sapphire Blue. This will get darker and brighter when we wipe on some poly. We're going to use a wipe-on poly. We're going to do probably 10 coats and rub each coat back slightly, just scuff each coat slightly with poly, unlike lacquer. Lacquer burns through each layer. Poly has a mechanical bond, so you need to scratch the surface to get the next layer on there to get it to bite.
Just followed me.
Jubines, what's going on? Thank you for the follow. Welcome on in. Let me just measure this out. 2 cap loads. I better get some gloves on because this stuff stains like crazy. Funny that. Huh. Dana in the house. What is going on? Orby, you're welcome, my friend. You are like a brother to this show, and you know we love you, and you are awesome. So welcome on in. I'm glad you're here. We always love having you on the stream, just hanging out, chilling. It's a good vibe. Matty Burrows, what are you up to, you naughty boy? Huh. Let me get before we do this, I want to show you the pickups that we're waiting. I want to show you the left-handed guitar that we're putting together. Okay, this is Odin, the Swedish metal monster. It's a lefty, it's a carved top. It has this faux moss paintwork. It's like a lump of wood that was in the forest and the moss has grown over that and it was picked out of the ground by some Nordic god. Anyway, that's the lefty. It's just about ready now. There's the back. We've got the wiring in there, just loosely sorted out, and we're waiting on the pickups. It's going to have some seriously dark metal pickups. We have a P90, a hot P90, humbucker sized in the neck. We've got a very special, unique, custom designed and produced formula for the humbucker in the bridge. It's going to be drop B tuning. This is the neck, Canadian maple, stained with mahogany. You can see the flame. A couple of coats of Danish oil, nice satin finish. And we've got ebony. Is it ebony? Yes, blonde, streaky ebony. Mother of pearl. Those characters there are the letters of the people in this person's family as markers in mother of pearl. And of course, there's a few other markers down to the 24th. Just little pieces there you can see. Put that together, give you a good look at what that looks like. Tight fit. Okay, there it is. That's a metal shredding beast. Odin, there it is. Terry, you are all over the commands. You're doing a great job. Everybody, big round of applause for Terry. She's our head of production. She's our production manager. The stream production, that is. Executive producer. She's doing well. She is now. She doesn't know it yet. I've got to pay her eventually. There's the headstock. A little bit variation on our normal headstock with that little cutaway, a little step in there. The back is quite just a traditional sort of straight line, inline 6 headstock, fenderish to a degree with my 2 scallops out of there that I normally do. So that guy's coming along nicely too.
Just followed me.
Hi, you are Q. How you doing? Good to see you. Thank you for the follow. Deno, what's going on? Good to see you. You love that? Okay, there's the lefty. We're going to put that away. And we're going to get started with this dye job, guys and girls. Enough waffle from me. Let's get on to doing some stuff. Okay, let's mix this colour in now that I've got my gloves on. Two cap loads. It's about 10 mils in each. That gave us the depth of colour that we want. No water required. We did try diluting and getting a feel, but it was too thin and too runny and too watery and it just diluted it too far. So what we're doing is just pure dye, two cap loads, a little bit of cotton swab, and we just basically rub that in, and that should pop a little bit more now. It'll get a bit darker. Terry, what do you think of the colour? Hey, Marky Mark, what's going on? Be Bumstead in the house. It's beautiful. You like the blue? It's starting to come along. It's got that sapphire look to it, right? Starting to get sapphire-y. Let's add some more colour and see if we can just keep... So I've got tape on the edges there because I want to keep the edges. This has got a round over. The cap is where the cap, about a 1/4 inch cap, where it stops is a line. I'm going to try and darken the edges and give it a faux sort of burst, or a faux binding sort of thing. Now this grain is a little bit raised. I probably will rub that back a little bit after this coat, just a touch, very lightly with some 400, just to take a little bit of the edge off. And of course, once we start wiping the poly on, we'll be able to basically scratch that up in between coats, do a couple of coats a day. What's happening, my brother? You love the color. It's coming up nicely. I'm impressed. So I did a coat yesterday, as you saw. I sanded that coat back, right back until you could just have a little bit of color just to accentuate some of that quilt through there. And then I've put a nice heavy coat on there. I'm going to put another coat on now, wash that in, and see what we get. It should darken up even more to that beautiful ocean blue. Just rub that in. And it's coming up. You can just see that's darkening a little bit. Just going to work that in, work that in, work that in, work that in. Even it out. You can see the dark bands, the grain is really grabbing that. It's good. Really darkening that edge. I want that faux binding. I want that bursty sort of look. I might even burst this a little bit. We'll see. I just want to get the even color on there first. Just hit it with that beautiful blue, sapphire blue. It's really starting to pop now. Vote yes for the burst. This will lighten up as it dries a little bit. We might need one more coat. Yep. Make sure we get that darken that burst, not that burst, the quilt, that figuring. Just make sure it drinks it all up, gets in there. That open grain sort of tends to grab as much of that colour. Can those edges are really nice and dark, which is good. Okay, that's just about done for another coat. We're going to let that sit, and we're going to let that dry, and we're going to check it when it's dry and see what it looks like. Let me remove these gloves. Let's pick this guy up. We'll go to the other camera and have a look at that colour. It's starting to really get that sapphire blue. You can see that figure's really showing now. It will burst and pop a little bit more when we get some top coat, but that blue's coming along. There you go, you can see that in that bright light. Starting to come along. Okay. Yeah, it looks like a wake. That's exactly right, Terry. We sort of got lucky with that. It looks like, you know, a little guy swimming across there. Absolutely. Seamus and Stanley. Ha! Yeah, they're staying clean. I'm being very careful with that. And you can see the white contrast there, Mark. It does pop them. It makes them look a little bit three-dimensional, which is good. That's the effect we want. We've got black in there, believe it or not, even though that light is... you know, bouncing that black and making it look lighter than it is. It's actually quite dark in there. But we do need to blow some dust and stuff out of there and clean it up. But that'll look good. Even with a little bit of colour in there, they pop nicely. But the edges are nice and white, which is good. I'm being very careful not to drip down there and overfeed that hole. So it's coming up okay. Let me put that away. Let's get on that neck. Okay, so the dealio here is, ladies and gents, we want to hit this with a little bit of, lightly with a little bit of 600, just buff it, just sort of, not buff it, but just burnish it a little bit with very fine paper, just to rough it up a little bit, give it one more coat, flatten that out, give it one more coat of true oil, and I think that's going to be enough for that neck. It feels really slick. I just want to coat that a little bit more and get it a nice nice closure, get some nice closure on that grain. It is filled in. It looks pretty good. It's satiny now, and when I burnish that with a rag, it's going to really pop nicely. The front's pretty much done. We might add a coat to that as well. I don't know yet. We'll see. We probably would put a coat on there. We could. I'll probably just use lemon oil on there and just keep that buffed up, nice and natural. But give this a coat. Let's get started with that. We'll get some coats on there. Take all that dust away. Let me just wipe this down. I'll put this ink away so I don't make a mess. And we'll get started. I'll just pour this back in here, the stuff we didn't use. Like so. Pop that away. Yeah, a little bit of silver wood. I've got a little bit of silver paint or a little pen. I could try that just to break it up a bit because the white is a little bit stark. The silver would be a lot more subtle. It would give it just a nice highlight. I think you're right there. It's a good reason. Archeros, what's going on? What is happening? It looks so good. Okay, good. We're happy that it looks good. That's always a good thing. I'll just quickly wipe this bench down, guys. Get some of this dust off here. I'm going to get a fresh glove on. I'm going to give that a light buffing with some 600 grit. Just very, very fine. A little bit of a scratch up. Nothing too... Just to knock off any high spots, that's all. Hang about. Where is the 600? What have I done with it? Might be. Ah, here it is. Okay, I've got it right here. Just give it a couple of little strokes. That feels glassy smooth. Just rub that down a few times. You can see I'm taking a little bit off, not much. It's just a little bit of the oil, just buffing that up a bit. Checking to see there's no bumps and things there. Flattening that out a little bit more. Any bubbles or any fibers or anything like that that may have gone down. Feels really good. I treat the heel the same way. Doesn't matter that it's covered. I just want to make sure it's even and keep it consistent throughout. Don't forget those edges. Give those a little scuff. Clean them up. Nice, really silky smooth. Terry, remind me to get some new tuners for this guy. I haven't got silver tuners. I've got to get some, please. This username, no exist. How you doing? Sassafras. That is sassafras. Yes, indeed. That's sassafras. That is spotted gum. Spotted gum is a eucalyptus from Australia. Sassafras is also Australia, but it's also renowned everywhere in other countries as well, other parts of the world. Okay, that's good. I'll just hit the front as well. There's a little bit of a run there. I just want to clean that up. One more coat and I should be able to sign that and then clear coat it for protection. Okay, give that a quick wipe down. On it. Thank you very much, Terry. Awesome. Terry's our reminder extraordinaire, calendar extraordinaire. See, if I burnish that a little bit like that, you can see it. You may not be able to see it there. Oh yeah, you can a little bit. It's getting a little bit of a sheen, a bit of a satin sheen. We're going to give it one more coat. Let's get this done here first. We've got our true oil, gunstock oil. We're going to use that. I like the hardness of this stuff. It is a little bit more amber than, say, Danish oil, which is just a different percentage of linseed and spirits. It's got this child-proof lock. That's why I can't get on it, into it. Give me a second and I'll get there eventually. There we go. Trim that down a little bit. Cut a little bit of this little rag. Use it to oil that guy down. There we go. There we go. Yes, Terry is my reminder app. She is awesome. I will drizzle straight on there like honey, just like maple syrup. That's going on really nicely. That'll give us a nice finish. Yeah, that's good. Nice finish there. We can flip that guy over. The back of that. Really good. Yeah, nice. You might be able to see that shine. Let's see if I can get you there. There you go. You can see that nice flat satiny shine, semi-gloss finish. That should be spot on a mundi, as they say. Going. Got that guy shining up. There you go. You can see the finish on that. It's a nice luster. While when it dries, it'll be like a nice thin coat. It's very, very glassy, very smooth. How we like it. Don't forget the back. There we go. That's good. We can get this guy out of the way now. I'll hang this guy up and I'll bring that base down and we'll start looking at what we need to do there. We need to do some finishing on that guy. Prep for finishing. Let's hang this guy up. Oh. Okay, got him hanging up. Let's grab that base. Where is that base? It's all about the base, as Terry would tell you. Terry, is it all about the base? It is indeed. Grab that big guy. Ba-doing, ba-doing, ba-doing. More cowbell. There it is there. Silky smooth. Let's go to the bench. There we are. There it is there. That's the body. So we've got a jazz pickup in here. We've got a precision pair in there. We've got no treble. What do you mean no treble? Bass. No, just bass. Ha! You're a funny kid. Now I've got a serious amount of sanding to do. Not too much. Just a little bit. I've got to get some finish sanding done there. I'm going to hit that with 240 and get some of those rough edges smoothed out. Make sure that that's flat. Feels pretty flat. We've got to get all these. We've got a lot of work to do on the neck. So I'm going to leave the body for now. I'm going to work on the neck. Get that guy cleaned up because that's really not rough, but it just needs to be fixed. So we're going to work with some really heavy grit and just get some big marks, tool marks out of the neck here, this transition piece here. And I just use a piece of 40 or 80. This is 80 actually, and I just roll it up into a little stick or a little rod, and I just get into those corners and I just rub with the grain and work on getting some of those cuts and tool marks out of there that are visible like that. And it doesn't take much, just a little bit of work, and you get them out. I'm also going to use it to shape this, refine this curve here. You can see that heel transition. I just want to refine that to get that looking good. Get the bumps out of there, and you can use that like a little scraper. It just helps you get in there and just control the narrative. Control the narrative, they said. Round that over. I'm going to round everything over. Mav in the house. Ooh, sanding, ASMR. Dana, I do know that you appreciate and like a good session of sanding. The ASMR is good. You're a fan. That's nice and cleaned up nicely. We get rid of those marks. Now, when I oil this and give it the first coat, it will bring up it'll darken any little scratches that I can't feel or see with the naked eye. This is quite good here. Okay, that side's looking better. Lots of tool marks in here. They're going.
Mom, somebody just followed me.
Danish Viking, what's happening? Welcome to the stream. Thanks for the follow. Come on in. We're just cleaning up and prepping this neck through base for its initial coats. Yes, thank you for the... Dana is a fembot, absolutely. Now I'm going to just check the profile on this guy. Once again, let me grab my little profile tool. Profiler. Check it right up here. Okay, we've got a nice big flat C. Okay, nice and flat. In the middle here. A nice flat C. Up the top here. A little C again. So the profile's pretty good. Pretty good. We're going to sand that a little bit better and get some of these scratches out. It's not too bad. This body needs a bit of work, so I'm going to hit this body now with a little bit of this 80 grit and just get those tool marks and some of the cutting marks out of that round over and get that round over a little bit rounder. I like to hand finish the round over. It just gives me a little bit more control. Takes some of those, as I said, tool marks that may be left with the router. No, there's no ego with Terry, man. If you think Terry's got an ego, man, she's the last person with an ego. Terry doesn't need an ego. She doesn't have one and she doesn't need one. Terry's just awesome being Terry. Isn't that right, Terry? Indeed. Let's just get this profile done first, then we'll smooth out the edges. Lots of work on this guy. It's very difficult when it's a one piece like this because you've got to work on everything at the same time. There's something about bases and their roundness. I do like the round edginess of a classically shaped base. I sort of try and overdo the round over, which is ironic because I only use like a 3 or 4 millimeter round over bit instead of a 1/4 inch. Reason for that, and that is I've got a lot of chambering here and I didn't want to break through on the top. I could have done a bigger round over at the back, but I opted not to. That's okay. We just control that round over with this sandpaper and get it to the look and feel that we like that. That's more of a 1/4 inch now. I've just worn that down a little bit. Ha! It's looking good. Lovely. It's nice and round. You can feel the edges, and I just work those edges off. Once I profile this with the 80, I'll hit it with the 120 and the 240 just lightly. Get the 240 flat, just to flatten that out before I put a coat on that guy. We've got to start thinking about putting control holes in here as well next. It's going to have one tone, 2 volumes, 1 tone. I've got to get some holes in here for these horns, for these, not for the horns, the straps, one on the horn and one on the base as well. Abso-bloody-lutely we need to get that done. But first let's get this major profile done. That rounding's really good. Hanky panky. Manny sanding more than Hank could ever dream about. Rage, you know how important this is. You are king of the finishing, Rage. And I'll tell you, actually, let me just take a break while Rage is here and bring back that blue guitar and show him the color. Rage, we just applied the 3rd coat. What do you think? I think we stay at 3 and we wait till that dries and then we hit it with a clear. Anyway, that's coming up nicely. Yeah, it's not bad. It's not bad. That was what I did yesterday. Was I took your advice. I gave it a first coat. I waited about 12 hours overnight. Actually, I left it pretty close to 24, and then I lightly sanded most of it back and left some of the quilted areas and the figured areas just grabbing that ink. Then I gave it a nice solid coat yesterday, and then this morning I just now at the stream we gave it its 3rd. That's still a little bit wet. It's only been half an hour since we've put it on. I'm going to leave that overnight and see how that dries up, but it's starting to really get that sapphire blue. Love it to death. Yeah, it's pretty good. I think it's coming up. I'm really keen to see what the wipe on's going to do. I'm going to probably put about 8 to 10 coats of wipe on poly, and that'll give it a nice, flat finish. It should shine reasonably well. You're proud of me. Look, Rage. I'm proud of you. No. I'm proud of you. Thank you for the advice. I mean, I'm really, really appreciative. And that's the beauty. The beauty of working and doing this sort of stuff on stream is you get to meet people like Rage and Hank and Orby and all these guys that do this stuff day in and day out. And they, you know, I've been doing it for 13 years and I'm still learning. So these guys, you know, hat off to you guys. Really appreciate your support and your help. And that's the kind of community we have. So if you want to catch the other guys, go to our Discord. Terry will pop up the link and join our Discord in the Luthier's Uprising or Luthier Uprising. You'll get to meet all the other guys and their channels in there and get to see some of the stuff we do. You'll really appreciate it. Thank you, Rage. I appreciate you, man. Back at you, buddy. Back at you. You're all good. You're all rock. Thank you, Terry, for the Discord call out. Just making sure this round over is a nice, good, solid, even round over. And there's no sharp edges like that. So we kill those. We feather those and blend them in so they're nice and even. No sharp edges. Sometimes we get a couple of little sharp edges where something's flattened or turned a little bit. Of course, I'm going to do that when I do the edges and clean them up, but I'm just making sure there's nothing major that needs to be taken off. Now I'm going to work on this, get this. This is one area that had to be done completely by hand because of this belly, this tummy cut. We couldn't sit the router on there flat, so what we did was we filed it by hand and roughly blended it in at both ends. Took roughly an eighth or 3/16 of an inch, and now I'm taking it to around about a quarter, just by hand, and just blending it in, giving that nice and round look. Feels really good. It's not too round, but it's just a really nice, smooth transition round over. See, it's still sharp there. I'm going to flatten that out just by hitting that. It just feathers that, just flattens it out a little bit, just a little bit softer. The break becomes a little bit softer. What's happening December, January, Mav, that you need to save points? Is there anything I don't know? Are you planning something? What are you planning, young man? It's nice. It's a nice round over. A little knot there, but that's pretty smooth. I'm just going to leave that in there. That's just a little bit of sapwood. That's fine. It'll be fine once we oil over that. It shows you that it's a natural piece of silky oak or lacewood. It's got some beautiful flame through there. Once we get this oiled, you'll see that really pop. It's not overbearing or overwhelming, but it is beautifully contrasting to the remaining vertical type scaly grain. It's an interesting wood, lacewood. It's very interesting. You can get some really, really nice variations. Most of it's the same, but you get about 10 or 20% of it that's just slightly twisted, and it gives it a bit of a spin. Northern silky oak, Terry, is what it's called here in Australia. Northern silky oak, commonly known as a relative of lacewood, which you'd probably be familiar with in the US or North America. Usually Christmas, Dana, and New Year's. And it's very hot in Australia, that's for sure. Summertime. While you guys are freezing your butts off, we're boiling and melting. like giving that, there's a couple little flat spots here, and I just like giving it a little bit of, roundness just by taking some of those edges away, softening it up. Soften it up. There's a lot of work to be done around the base of this heel. There's file marks like a dragon has bit into it and devoured it. But that's okay. We'll get there. It's just going to be a little bit of work, but that's okay. That's part of it. That's what we've got to do. We've got to keep on keeping on. I like getting these horn sections nice and round. Just a nice transition. Because that ends there like that, it curves away and sort of curves around a little bit, that cutaway. I just want to keep that flow curving, almost like a scroll, but it's not without scrolling it, but it's a little bit softer on the turn there. I just like to break it up and get it rounding over all the way around, both that way and that way. So it's like a little ball. On a base, it looks great. I love round points, roundness on a base. It just gives it that chunky, warm, full sort of look. Fluid, big dollop of jelly base. Ha! Northern silky wood. Northern silky oak, Terry. Northern silky oak. Lace wood. Well, yeah, I'm wondering why he's saving him. I mean, you can save him if he likes. They're only worth what everyone's willing to make them worth in their own minds. So it's all good. If you want to keep them, go ahead. I'm not going to stop you from saving up your channel points. That's looking pretty good. I'm happy with that as a rough, well, it's not rough, but as a coarse finish. I'm going to hit that with and smooth that out as well. This neck's looking pretty good now. Most of that mark's gone. I've got to do the marks on that. So those edges are done on the back there, all the way around. I've still got to do the inside face, the walls, but I want to finish the neck transition at this end. So I'm going to flip you over. Get this guy down here and just do a little bit of transition work here just to get a couple little spots out of here. Just a few little tool marks, nothing major, nothing major. I'll need the little pencil for this guy and the thinner piece. Just the tool marks at the base of this volute. It's almost gone. A little crease in the middle there. We'll just work on that until it's gone. It's looking pretty good. Not bad. Not bad at all. Getting there. There we go. That looks good. That looks really good. Okay, now let's start on the edges here. Quickly hit those edges. They won't need much because they're pretty good. They just need to be smoothed out, get some scratches out. Any rough, any flat spots, just round it over a little bit. This won't take too long. We'll have a coat on this in very, very short time. I'm going to put one coat on it, knowing there's lots of work to be done here, but I need to get that done, get a coat to seal this up now, because the parts are on the way and I want to have that at least 3 or 4 coats of oil on there before we put the parts in. I want it done. So let's do that. I'm just going to work on the edges here. And get those guys sorted. So I'm going to use this guy with a block now, a sponge block, something soft that helps with keeping the edges bending around those round edges. Let me just pop this up higher, get that camera down there so you can see what we're doing. There we go. If there's any questions, guys and girls, pop them in there. If I see them, I will. Oh, no dramas, Terry. Don't apologise for that. There's lots of different names. Yeah, ask a question if you have any. I'll pop it in the chat eventually. If I miss it, I'm going to review the chat when I review the video, and I might get back to you via PM, private message or DM, whatever you want to call it. I'm going to hit this. That's pretty good. I've already hit this with 120 by the looks of things. I'm just going to touch it up a little bit and then going to hit it with the 240. Make sure there's no tool marks there. They're gone. Tool marks out of the side of that maple. my kingdom for a file. I need a round file. Let's get in here. A little bit of loose wood there. It's some fibers I need to shape. There we go. Beautiful. That's good. That's good. A little bit of a cut mark just there. Won't take me long, another couple of minutes and I'll have that out of there. I'll do the other side and then we're good to go with the oil. We'll hit that with, we'll hit the top for sure. I'll leave the body, but I'll do the top. I want to get one coat on the top. That side's a bit rough, but it's okay. Hit it with this. Where's that round file? Just going to round that over a little bit, right in that corner there. All right, let's do the edges here. Checking there, there's pretty much I've done it already. I'm just checking to see if there's any flat spots. There's a couple of little ripples here, tool marks. I'm going to hit the top now with 250 or 240 and give it a coat of oil and see what that comes up like. Just to seal it off. And that should make that colour pop. like no tomorrow. That's all good. That needs work, but that's okay. Done this side, okay. Happy with that for the time being. I will div this at 240 over the top. What I want to do now is hit the top with some oil. I'm going to quickly rub that down with some 240, very lightly, scuff it, and then we're going to put some oil on there and see what that comes up like. We want to seal that up. Whoopsie daisy. Over we go. Let me fix that camera up. Sorry about that. Let me fix that camera up. It's spun away. Let's see how that is. It's better? Okay. Grab a fresh piece of 240. Grab a block. Just give that a light scrub over. It's already prepped. I just want to make sure I haven't missed anything. Doesn't matter because the first coat will be pretty much rubbed back anyway. I just want to seal some of that up. Really good. Who's ready to get some oil on here? Who wants some of that? Willie won't go. What's going on? Are we ready for some oils? Woo! Let's get some seal. Let's get a seal coat, a little wash coat on there. Let me wipe this down. All right, Terry, are you ready for this? Are you ready for the initial coat? Hank juice. No, we're going to go for the oil, straight for the oil. Are you ready? Are you ready? Let her rip. Radio, let her rip. We're going to squeeze out the goodness of this molasses. All this good gear going on down here. Look at all that goodness. Look at all that goodness. Seal it up, drink it up. Seal it up, drink it up. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. Let me tell you, this is beautiful right now. She's a ripper, all right. Look at that. What a girl. What a superstar she is. Just going to let that drink it all up. Just a seal coat. I'll rub that back and we'll give it a couple more coats and keep it as flat as we can. You can see that quilt is popping in now. She's a stunner, as they say. Sexy girl, sexy girl. She's pretty good. Woohoo! Let's do the headstock. Don't forget that guy. Let's check it out. Let's check it out. There she is. There she is, our base girl. And there's our headstock. She's looking good. She's looking good. I'm happy with that. That's a beautiful, beautiful colour. You can see the flame now right across there, strobing across the top. And if I shine that light on, you can see that sparkle away. There we go. There's our base. That's what she's going to look like when she's all finished. Black hardware, black knobs, should be looking good. Black tuners, looking good. Yes, indeed. For those that weren't on earlier, let me grab the blue ocean theme. We've got a third coat on this girl now. There's our third coat. Starting to get that sapphire blue going. She's a lovely rich blue colour. Might need one more coat at most, I'd say, if that. I'm waiting for that to dry overnight properly and oxidize a little bit and just give us a little bit of that true colour. We're going to put clear on that, so that's going to bring that up as well. Whew. Okay, so there's that girl, all blued up. And last but not least, we have this guy, the lefty, almost finished. We've got pickups arriving in the next couple of days. Wiring started. We just got to put the pickups in there, the ground bridge wire, put the bridge on, the pickups and the knobs on. And that's pretty much ready to go as well. So we're getting there. We are getting there. So this base is looking pretty good. That's pretty much touch dry already. That's drunk most of that in there. That's really accentuated that amazing layering. Those rings are awesome. I think it's one of the best tops I've seen of camphor laurel. All right. Ready, Teddy, go, go, man. Go, man, go. That's it. Let me put some of this away. I'm just gonna check what's going on Twitch. Karen Day, Matt Burrows. Let's go back to Karen and say hello. I'm gonna head off in a minute, guys and girls. The cake guitar, I've still got it, Terry. Yes, indeedy, I do have it. It's upstairs in my collection. It's going to go to the market stall eventually. I just got to do a little bit of work on the action, get it nice and refined, and then we can get it out there playing. I'm going to raid Karen. Stick around, guys and girls. Invalid name? What do you mean? Oh, I left the N out. Silly me. That's better. Okay, guys and girls. Where are you all? There we are. I'm going to be back again tomorrow. Wednesday, I'm off. I've got to go drive out to another town to pay my respects to someone that we lost recently. So I'm going to attend a bit of a get-together there with those folks. I won't be around on Wednesday, which is your Tuesday, but I will be around tomorrow, which is your Monday. If you're overseas, of course, if you're in the Northern Hemisphere. See you later, Lise. Good to see you. Okay, I'm going to raid now, guys and girls. Have a great one. I'll see you again tomorrow. We're going to keep going with this guy. Hopefully get some clear coats if there's no more colour required on that blue. I'll raid over to Karen now. Let's go. I'll see you all tomorrow. Bye for now.